Metal Nation Radio. United we rock.
Oh, you got Joe. That's you're looking straight at.
Yeah, that's Joe, the singer. How's it going, bro?
Great, man. Thanks.
I'm Carlo, the drummer.
Excellent.
I'm Chris, the bass player.
Hey, Chris.
And I'm Nick, the guitarist.
Hiding in the background, hey, Mick?
He's hiding.
Awesome. Well, fellas, thanks for joining me. I do a show called Metal Rises in the East. I like to promote as much independent, underground hard rock and heavy metal as I can, and you guys came up with a pretty wicked release. Before we get into too much about the release, though, tell me about the name of the band. What is Fayne, and what does that mean to you guys? Where'd that come from?
I think. Well, the funny thing about the name of Fayne itself is it actually doesn't mean anything. I think it was Nick and Alex, our guitarist, who's not here right now, who's basically the lead, and he's the main generator for a lot of the songs. But Nick and Alex were typing to each other back in the days of MSN, and Nick wanted to write Fine, but he wrote Fayne, and we were just both like, hey, that looks cool and mysterious and whatnot, so. It's a lame story. I don't, you know what I mean? I wish there was more to it, like more magistry to it, but that's about it.
No, that's cool. I mean, at least you've got a story. It seems almost more like an inside joke for the band.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, in the past decade, she's taken on a life of her own, pretty much.
And now, speaking of decade, I've been talking to a lot of bands recently who, they haven't been around for too long. Looking at your history, you guys have been around for quite a while.
Well, in different variations we have, but me, Chris, and Alex have always played together, so we just figured we'd stick with the same name, and we had we always had a following with that name, so we stuck together, and we just figured we'd keep it like that.
And at a certain point in time, basically, Alex decided that he wanted to focus more on guitar playing, which even before I was in the band, I knew Alex was always a really, really well-versed guitarist. When I took over, from there, we kind of went into our little slump, into our little sleeping period.
Okay.
In that sleeping period is where I met Carlo, our drummer now. We started doing some stuff, but slowly but surely we were able to get the band back together, and that's pretty much when we experienced that little rebirth with the Queen of Kings and writing that material. Okay, awesome. And I was reading something as well that you brought in a bit of a hip hop influence in the band. Something of the sort. It's weird. I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I'm coming from a background my father's from the Philippines. My mother's French Canadian. I mean, to be honest with you, R&B and hip hop has a lot to do with the way that I perceive lots of music, and maybe even to go even deeper into that really old school shit like the Temptation, the Four Tops, and maybe Commodores or whatnot. Things like that really help me perceive and give a little bit more flow to what we do. Nice. Well, I was looking at the Valhalla Sound Circus, and that seems quite a contrast for you guys to be a part of. How was that? Tell me a little bit about that experience. Well, that was basically born, from childhood friendships. I know Chris and Nick grew up with Pat and Eric, who are two of the main guys behind that. They're part of this DJing duo called the Warriors, and they created this thing called Big Two Productions. And basically, man, it's weird how it works out, but dubstep and metal, they connect on lots of different rhythmic patterns and breakdowns, I guess you could say. Yeah. And we fit in pretty nice, you know what I mean? We know lots of the people that are there. Every once in a while, I go down to one of the raves that they have, and I actually MC over a couple of dubstep sets. I'll throw down a couple of screams or whatnot. Nice. But that's it. It's basically part of the community here we have in Montreal, and it's crazy how it just it works out like that we end up playing at a festival that's our bros that are throwing it down. Yeah, well, with that there's definitely that underlying connection, but it seems on the surface that it's such a contrasting.
A lot of the people, spectators, not only spectators, but DJs as well. A lot of the DJs come from a metal background and turn to dubstep eventually.
Yeah. Some of them got so into it. Well, one guy broke his fucking leg. So
he was one of the promoters or something, wasn't he? Did I read that?
He was actually a headline DJ. He was a headline DJ.
Podman was named Chris.
Yeah. Nice.
Wolverhampton represent.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, tell me a little bit about Queen of Kings. How is this? I mean, I guess it's sort of, I guess, a newer sort of finalized lineup in the sense, but how is this different from the earlier stuff?
Well, I mean, it's funny, but I find like the earlier stuff for Fayne is kind of like, you know, like those classic kind of like hard or like metalcore bands, you know, like Parkway Drive or like Bury Your Dead style, where you use very, you know, standard elements to create like a final product of a song.
Yeah.
Okay. With the Queen of Kings, I mean, it's definitely maturing, I think, for all of us. Like for myself on vocals, you know, like trying to do some different things, like with the clean singing and the screaming at the same time, you know what I mean, giving those variations. Nick and Alex both stepped up their game. And Alex was really a huge portion of why the Queen of Kings sounds the way it does, even before we sent it off to Mr. Douches, Mr. Alan Douches. But honestly, Alex really, he went over everything with a fine-tooth comb. You know, from the singing to like the drum hits, you know, he really took it onto his own to make sure that it didn't sound formulaic and it just sounded as heavy as possible and as clean as possible as well. Nice.
Well, it definitely it turned out very well.
Thank you.
Tell me about your little guest star, Carl Schubach.
Well, I guess Cole, you'll have to answer that one.
Yeah, how'd you get that all set up?
It all started with I'd seen a post on I think it was Kickstarter that he was trying to fund his own project called the Soulless. I think it was just called Soulless. And what happened was he was asking for donations, and a certain donation would get him to sing on our track.
Oh, okay.
So basically, we donated, and he was really cool with us. We sent him the tracks. In like little time, he basically sent us different variations of his vocals, left, right, centers. He even actually ad-libbed a few lyrics in there. So it was really cool. He actually got into the song, and we would like to thank him personally eventually when we get to meet him again.
Yeah.
Now that it's been released, hopefully the next time he's in Montreal, or maybe next time we go out west, we'll get to hand him a copy in person and thank him, because he did a really good job on it.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. The music video, I was digging on that. Tell me a little bit about the story behind that.
Well, that came together really nice. I mean, we knew Shot by JFK from work that he did with Hopeless Youth, another Montreal band. And then, I mean, his stuff is available. You can go on Vimeo and check out like all like his catalog of video work. And we entrusted that he would be able to represent us well in shooting the video.
Uh-huh.
And besides that, I mean, we just wanted something that was just raw and straightforward and just represented the wildness that we bring to the stage. You know what I mean? Like we really like to give it our all when it comes to a live performance, and we tried to put that into the video.
Yeah.
And at the same time as well, like the location, VJ, it's like a old train station here in Montreal. We got lucky enough to get on that location, and it had such this rustic and beautiful feel to it already, you know what I mean, that really I feel fit our sound and our style, like I don't want to say that we're romanticists as such, but like we try and go with a little bit more fine definition on the design that we used to represent us, and I find that the venue followed that suit kind of thing.
Awesome. I know. I certainly appreciated the architecture, the setting there. You kind of broke up when you said the name of that railway station, though. What was it?
It was Gare Vigée, or Vigée Station.
Place Vigée.
Or Place Vigée, yeah.
It's over 100 years old. It was built in 1896.
Yeah.
Oh, it was gorgeous, man. That's a great choice. Who chose that?
That was
It actually sort of chose us, actually.
Yeah, exactly. She found us in a weird way. It was Nick's girlfriend's father, who was working on it with his company. I believe they're the general contracting company for the entire building. They're having a bunch of really huge new companies move into there, and try and expand on like the downtown core of Montreal.
Mm-hmm. And
we just got lucky, honestly. Like we just saw it and we saw the opportunity. We asked and we received. Man, it was a beautiful thing.
It was a very small window, basically. We had a week to actually choose a day, go in just before they would finish off the walls and finish off the floors and the ceilings, before they take away all that rustic look. And we were lucky to find out one day that's fit everybody's schedule, as well as the contractors weren't actually there. So we could actually go in, do what we got to do one day from early in the morning to late at night, and then just leave. That was it.
Wow. So you got all your footage from that site in one day. Boom.
Yeah.
Really long.
Really long day.
I bet.
First couple of takes were hard.
That's crazy. All right. Well, Queen of Kings came out on November 20th.
That's right.
What's 2015 looking like for you guys? What's on the plans?
Ooh, well, right now, Nick, Nick is the one taking care of lots of this stuff, so I'll let him take this.
All right.
Well, right now we have a little fundraiser next week. It's to help the less fortunate in Montreal and in and around. Then we got a show with the Contortionist. It's a pretty big tour that they're doing, and we're opening for them in Montreal. So the Contortionist, Revocation, Fallujah, and Tooth Grinder.
Yeah.
Nice.
Rock Spells too.
And then, so that's at the end of February, and at the beginning of March break, we're going to Ontario for a week. We're going to play about six shows in Ontario,
Okay.
and from there we have Valhalla Sound Circus again this summer, and hopefully we'll just keep busy and keep
booking those shows in
booking
between.
those shows. Right now we've got about 10 shows lined up for the next couple of months, and hopefully that number keeps growing.
That's awesome. You guys got a plan. It's wicked.
And we're also writing at the same time for a full length, hopefully that we can release hopefully sometime around this time next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. You keep them busy. Yeah. That's wicked. All right. Well, how can my listeners keep in touch and follow up with you guys and keep up to date?
Definitely. I mean, we're on Facebook a lot. We update that first, but our Bandcamp is holding all of the entirety of Queen of Kings right now. You can listen to that, and Reverb Nation has some of our older stuff, I believe, on it.
All the other social media as well,
Yeah,
Twitter,
yeah.
Instagram. It's always Fayne Music. Just search Fayne Music and you'll find us.
Yeah, exactly. And big, I guess, in a sense of that, big shout out to John Asher as well, because he's the one who helped us out with really going with every social media site. I think we even have a Pinterest.
Oh, nice. Wow.
You can find Fayne Music, anything, and you'll find it.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's connecting me with some pretty amazing talent, you guys included. So